Hey, good morning and welcome to Drivetime. This week we have Chris Stroka. For those of you who don't know Chris is a leader in his career field at Gartner out in Gateway, and he is also a leader on the safety team at Cape Christian. Chris and I go, I guess you could say, way back to the beginning, since Chris is actually my cousin. But he's agreed to join us this morning on Drive Time, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, excellent, Dave. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. Let's just be honest and transparent for a minute as we're all here talking, with each other. You got me to speak on Drive Time through a nice text message saying, hey, if you had an opportunity to talk to a random group of men, what would that topic be? And I was gullible enough to respond, at which point you then said, tell me more about it, at which I was still gullible and I responded. And then you said, hey, when do you want to record a session? And so here we are. So thank you, Dave, for being an amazing cousin and challenging me and getting me on Drive Time. I'm happy to be here.
Well, good. Now that we got that out there. So when we were exchanging those texts and I was setting the hook a little bit, you brought up this idea of connection and how important it is for Christian men and just men in general to be connected with other guys. So let me ask you this. Why? Why is it such a big deal to you?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dave. As I think about connection, for me, there's so many things that tug on us as men and husbands and fathers. And, I'm blessed to be married. I'm blessed to have 6 children, even a grandchild. So careers, businesses, there's so many things that tug on us. And for me, when I think about my relationship with God, what really rings true is the connection aspect. And it's being connected to God. It's being connected to my family. It's being connected to other godly men. And that's, I think, an opportunity for me to consciously focus on. And that's why it came top of mind. Interestingly enough, when you had reached out through the pandemic, without having the physical services at church, without being able to necessarily do our full small group, I've definitely felt disconnected. So this has been a good opportunity for me to revisit connection and think about how do you maintain connected even through a global pandemic. So that's why I think it's important to me.
That's good. So where does all that start for you to go from, a guy sitting in the seats on a Sunday morning to being a guy who's leading a group and leading a safety team and just being overall very involved?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely a God thing. For me, it was taking a moment to say, God, how do you want to use me? How do you want to use me in my life and my family and my church? And just really opening up the window of conversation for that. And interestingly enough, God was willing to talk, right? God was willing to talk in the form of a new pastor coming into Cape Christian, just happened to sit Pastor Corey Demmel at a table with me at one of his first men's breakfasts as he was actually previewing the church before he even came on as the lead pastor. And for whatever reason, God put it on my heart to pour my heart out to not only Corey, but a couple other men sitting around the table. And Corey was brave enough to take the opportunity to challenge a man he had just met with the idea of getting connected in the church. And I really appreciated that. And, following that meeting, I prayed and I was really trying to figure out how can I get connected. And just so happened that, when I was talking to Corey, I said, I love motorcycles. I have one. I don't talk to men enough about God. And he was like, what if you did like a men in motorcycles group? And I was like, can I do that? Like, is that a church thing? And he was like, listen, it's an opportunity to connect with other men and do something you like to do. And sure enough, I trusted God and opened up a small group, Men in Motorcycles. We've been going strong now for 2 years, and just what an amazing opportunity for a small group of men. And you guys know who you are that attend the group, but we've connected. God's put us in the position where we've connected as a small group. We're able to share our life experiences. We're able to get emotional with each other. We're able to get heated with each other. We're able to challenge each other and really push each other to get better. And that's just been an amazing blessing that came out of that. On top of the small group, God also kind of put it on my heart to start serving and looking for an opportunity to serve. And I found my place on the safety team and have had the ability to connect with so many amazing men and women that serve on the safety team and that support the safety team and the pastoral staff. So the ability to take the gifts God's given me and use them for a purpose of small groups and serving at the church, it's definitely helped me with my relationship with God. It's helped me with my relationship with my family. And I feel like I get more out of the relationships I have with other men and the safety team than I'm able even to give back. And so just what a blessing to be connected that way.
Well, that's really good. And it's amazing how God will use just a comment from somebody, again, that you had just met at that point. And at the point you're telling the story, Corey wasn't the pastor here. He was checking it out. So you didn't even know if this was going to be a continuous voice in your life or if this was a one-time deal, one-time encounter. But God can speak through anybody. So if you were going to say, I don't know, encourage the guy who's sitting in the back row right now, who hasn't plugged in, he's been going to church for a little while, maybe off and on, what would you say to them about how getting connected has changed not just your service life because you're doing more, but how has it changed your relationship with God?
Yeah, first off, I would say if you are sitting in the back row and thinking, how do I get connected? And that idea pops in your head of I should join this small group or I should serve the church this way. Don't ignore that voice. That's God telling you to get involved, right? And action it quick. Don't wait. Don't pause. Move on it. Call somebody, email somebody, jump in. Because when you do get connected, I mean, I got to be honest, it's changed my family's life forever. It's changed my life forever, getting connected, just because my children are able to grow up into the church. They're able to have a father who listens to Christian music, who's able to have that godly influence on them, which is then going to shape their life forever as well. And so, A, do it. And B, just stay connected. And through that, God speaks to me and uses me in so many different ways that it's just been so amazing. Every day I get up and I love how Corey talks about adding value. I look for ways to add value when I serve, when I'm in my small group, when I'm at work, when I'm home with the family. It's just, it all works together to make me a better man.
That's great. All right. So, hey, first of all, thank you for listening to the voice in the text message that said, hey, let's, because I definitely think, what you had to share is going to touch somebody today. So just thank you for taking the time to sit down with us and record this. And, hopefully we will be back, serving together in church and being in groups together at church, before too long.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you for all you're doing for the men, and look forward to seeing everybody soon.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.